So I love being a Lego fan, collector, and investor at this time of year every single year, because not only do we have retiring sets right now that are about to disappear for good and I'm actively going out and buying them, but also we can start to get excited about next year. What are some of the sets that are going to retire in 2024 that we can get excited about? And I'm already starting to think about this stuff. I've already been starting to look at some of the sets that I expect that will retire next year and started to wonder, which of these sets am I excited about? What are some sets that I really hope actually do retire next year? Because I think that those are sets that I might want to invest in or just collect for myself for personal builds. Some sets that I really like that are rumored to be retired next year, and I hope that those rumors come true. So that's what I'm going to share with you right here. What are 10 Lego sets that I really hope actually do retire next year in 2024? So let's just jump straight in, and the first one I'm going to talk about is a Star Wars set. This is R2-D2. This is of course the iconic droid from the Star Wars movies, set number 75308. I love this set. Since the day that this set was released, I've been a massive fan of it because I think that the design on this one was absolutely nailed. I think that the detail in this droid, the scale, the build, everything about it is just really well done, and it is 2,314 pieces, which to me just feels like the right size to go with when you're trying to create a buildable R2-D2. I'm so glad that they didn't try to make it a smaller set. Now the downside of course is the price point, because this is a $240 MSRP. That is actually higher than the release date MSRP. This released, I think it was $200 when this set first came out. And since then, it was part of the price increases that the Lego Group did over the last couple of years, and now it's $240 in the US. Now, you also get the little minifig version of R2-D2 with this set, of course, and you also get a plaque, which I think just adds to display ability. But this set doesn't need any help when it comes to display ability, because I just think it looks so good on a shelf. So I'm a big fan of this, and from an investing standpoint, will there be demand for this long into the future? I think so, as long as there's not another re-release of this set, because this is not the first version of R2-D2 we've seen. There was a previous version, and there could be another one in the future. They have enjoyed making these buildable droids recently, and it is possible that they're always going to want to come back to R2-D2 over time. So as an investment, I would keep that in mind, but the demand for this set will definitely still be there, especially if there is not a re-release in the first couple of years of retirement. Now, another thing that I really like about this set, and this may sound funny to some of you, but the box that it comes in is actually super light and small for such a large, expensive set, and it is pretty sturdy. So I think shipping would be easy, a lot of storage would be easy, and I'm a fan of that. There's a lot of features involved with the set, of course. You have all these little gimmicks that can come out of the different weapons that R2 has. I'm a fan of this set, and I do think it would be a good investment as long as we can get it at a good enough price and there is not a re-release soon into the retirement, which is a possibility with this set. So R2-D2 75308 is the first on my list here of sets that I do hope retire next year, and I will be watching from the sidelines and curious about whether or not I decide to actually go ahead and invest in this set. Next up is another Star Wars set. We're going to talk about Mos Eisley Cantina. Now this set was supposed to retire this year in 2023, ended up getting pushed out into 2024. It is set number 75290. This set has 21 minifigures inside of the box here. As you can see from the pictures, it is absolutely packed here with minifigures. A lot going on in the set, of course. It is there's a lot of playability in this set. It is less displayable than something like the R2-D2, but it has really packed with features when it comes to the playability side. So Star Wars fans are going to want this in the future. Now it also depicts an iconic location from the Star Wars universe. This is of course Mos Eisley, based on the planet Tatooine. Very important scenes from the original trilogy took place here, but this actually continues to pop back up throughout the series, and it's very important to Star Wars fans, of course. It is a very large set, so this is not going to be for everybody. It's going to depend on whether you want to buy expensive large Lego sets or not, and you will need to see some good price growth in this one if you wanted to invest in it, for example, and make a good solid return on investment. It may be harder to get a really good deal on this, but I do think that sometime throughout 2024 those opportunities will present themselves, and when they do, those who are paying attention to the Mos Eisley Cantina may be able to do quite well when it comes to an investment. Now this is a Master Builder Series set, as we can see here in the top corner. Massive set, Big fan, but the MSRP is $400. So it's expensive and it's not going to be for everybody. And it's also a big, bulky box. So make sure you can store it and you are okay with shipping it if you're buying it as an investment. Those are some things that you do need to pay attention to. But I hope that this does go ahead and retire next year. It was supposed to retire this year, and I do want to see what's going to happen with this set in retirement. So I'm looking forward to this one disappearing off the shelves in 2024. Now, next up, we're going to move into Ninjago. This is the Ninjago City Gardens. This is another set that was rumored to be retiring this year in 2023 and got moved out to 2024. So I think the likelihood of this one disappearing next year is quite high. This is set number 71741, and it is the flagship large set inside of the Ninjago theme. And over the last few years, they have been focused on having these really expensive flagship sets in the Ninjago theme that have actually done quite well as an investment. We've seen the Ninjago City Docks and we've seen Ninjago City. Now we have Gardens that is about to retire, and hopefully in 2024 we will see the end of this set. But more recently, they've actually released a new one called Ninjago City Markets, so they're continuing on the line, and the demand continues to be there for these larger, more expensive Lego Ninjago sets. Now, this set has 19 minifigures in it, and the detail inside of this set is absolutely phenomenal because the colors that they use in this set just makes for such a nice display piece. Also packed with playability, of course, with the different characters that you have, and when you combine this with the other Ninjago sets as kind of modulars and connect them together to build your Ninjago city, there's a ton of collectability there. So this is a set that I think is going under the radar a little bit with Lego investors, just like the previous versions before it, and they ended up being really good investments. So I'll be watching this one, and I'm definitely curious as to what is going to happen with Ninjago City Gardens when it comes to investing, and whether or not this turns out to be an absolutely amazing Lego investment. Now, it is a $350 set. Of course, I would prefer to get it at a better price than that, and we'll see if we get those opportunities throughout 2024. So this is another one that I'm looking forward to seeing retirement on, hopefully within the next year. Next up, we'll talk about Lego Architecture. So Architecture is rumored to have one Lego set retiring next year. Just like in 2023, we said goodbye to the White House. Well, that's actually still happening right now. It's not yet gone for good, but it is on the way out. Next year, we are saying goodbye to Singapore, according to a lot of the different rumors. Now, this stuff can change. That's why I call it a rumor, because no matter how good the source is, this stuff can always change. And over the next couple of months, we will be watching for some of those changes and checking whether some of these dates have been moved. But Singapore, as of right now, is rumored to be the Architecture set that is leaving the shelves in 2024, and I'm a big fan of this set because it is the most colorful of the Skyline series. It has a lot going for it. Singapore, of course, is a very, very popular tourist destination while also being a travel hub, and so I could see a lot of tourists wanting to make sure that they have this as part of their collection when it comes to building out their Skyline Lego sets of the different cities that they've traveled to, and this is just one that I think is going to do quite well. It is a $60 Lego set, which I'm happy about because we've seen a lot of price increases on a lot of different Lego sets over the last couple of years, but this is kind of the expected price for a Lego Architecture set. Now, I know we've seen some that are at a lower price, like San Francisco, and then we've had others that are at the $60 price, like Dubai was, for example. And Singapore being $60 feels right to me. It doesn't feel over expensive or anything like that. Now, this is 827 pieces, no minifigs, of course. It is set number 21057, and I hope that this turns out to be the retiring set next year because I will be watching it for sure. Now, jumping over to Batman, we have the Tumbler. So this is the larger Tumbler. We've seen a handful of Tumblers over the years and smaller ones, $40 sets, for example, that have retired. But this is the larger, more flagship Tumbler set, $270, set number 76240. And over the last few years, we've seen some interesting things happen with some Batman sets that are the larger sets. The 1989 Batmobile that retired 2 years ago now was actually a great investment. It turned out to be an incredible price growth over those 2 years. The 1989 Batwing did not do the same numbers. It didn't grow as high as 1989 Batmobile did. Now, the Tumbler is, of course, one of the really iconic Batmobiles of the last 20 years because with Christopher Nolan's Batman films, including Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, this is what all of those fans were seeing in those movies, and this is what they want to build. So I could see this one appealing to a slightly younger audience, but not so young that they don't have disposable income to spend on a $270 Lego set, even after the MSRP has doubled. And I think the audience for this set will continue to have demand and appetite for this long into retirement. It is a set number 76240 with 2,049 pieces. That's a lot of pieces, and that leads to a lot of detail. I think that the way they've designed this works really, really well, and it just looks really good. If you actually check out some of the other angles that we can see on this set, I'm a huge fan of this, and I just love the way it looks. It actually comes on a stand with a kind of display plate as well. How good is that going to look on a shelf? So I definitely think the demand is going to be strong on this one, even in retirement, and I will be watching it as a potential to invest in next year. I will be curious about what is going to happen with the Batman Tumbler. Next up, we have BrickHeadz, and we're talking about the Lord of the Rings BrickHeadz because next year we do think that there's a potential for the 3 Lord of the Rings BrickHeadz sets to retire. So that includes Frodo and Gollum, it includes Aragorn and Arwen, and it includes the Gandalf and Balrog BrickHeadz set. Now, I'm using Gandalf and Balrog as my example here because that's my favorite one, and I think that this is also one that fans will want. So a lot of people are probably going to think that Frodo and Gollum will be the number one to go to, but for the same reason that TIE Fighter Pilot has done better as an investment than Boba Fett. Whenever everybody flocks to the main character in a series, it can leave opportunity for some of the other characters to do better as an investment and grow in price even more because the supply on those may be lower in retirement. And that's what I think may happen with this one when it comes to comparing it with Frodo and Gollum, because a lot of people are going to just want to buy Frodo. And it is possible that this set benefits from the same kind of thing, where a lot of people are loading up on the Frodo set, and then there is a lot more supply of that set than there is of the Balrog and Gandalf set. But this is definitely the best of the 3 in my opinion. A $20 set, 40631 is the set number, 348 pieces. And again, BrickHeadz sets are hard to get in large volume, but if you start to buy early enough, you should be able to build up a good inventory of this if you are a Lego investor, and that would be the way to approach this one. Now, that can be harder to get at a good price, but I would argue that there is already some runway for this price to increase from $20 up to $50, and you're already going to do well as an investment at full price for this. But if you can get extra VIP points, Rakuten cashback, and gift purchases on this, then you could be doing great. So that is the Gandalf and Balrog BrickHeadz set, rumored to be retiring next year. Whether or not that happens, we will see, but that's what I'm hoping for, at least, because I'm curious what's going to happen with these sets in retirement. Now, let's talk about the Loop Coaster, because the Loop Coaster is rumored to be retiring in 2024, and this is the Lego Icons roller coaster that is currently available. And we have had a previous roller coaster set in the past in the Creator Expert lineup. It was set number 10261 with 4,124 pieces. Now, has this been a good investment? It has been a reasonable investment. It has gone quite flat for the last year, but during the first year of retirement on this set, you could have sold it for $630. Now, on Amazon, you would have had to buy it for $380, so that is not really double the MSRP, and then you'd have fees to pay. So your return on investment on this, if you paid full price for it, wouldn't have even been 50%, but your actual dollar amount that you would have gotten back in profit for that sale would have probably been $120 to $150 of pure profit after you've paid your fees. Again, it's not the best return on investment because you would have had to pay $380 to buy it. But if you bought it at a discount, and actually it was on sale at a discount on Lego.com right before the set retired, then you could have been talking about a strong return on investment on this set. So do I think that the new roller coaster is going to do better? I don't know. And the reason I'm excited for this to retire is not really because I think it's going to be the best investment. It's more because I'm curious as to what's going to happen. Now, the thing that I don't like about this set, of course, is the $400 price, but I kind of think that it is worth that. It does have 3,756 pieces, and with the old roller coaster that we just looked at the selling price, it is still selling a lot on Amazon. So there's actually tons of sales of this set, and the price right now on this is $584. So there's definitely an appetite to buy these roller coasters at these high prices. $584 for the old version, and it's still selling like crazy. And so do I think that the Loop Coaster will continue to sell even at a higher price? Yes, absolutely. But will it double in price to $800? Now that one remains to be seen. If this really becomes scarce in retirement, then it has potential to get up to those numbers. And I do think the inventory that's available in the aftermarket on this will actually be quite low, because when it comes to buying a $400 set, I don't know that many investors are going to be looking at the Loop Coaster, because there are other, like the Mos Eisley Cantinas and the Ninjago City Gardens, that may attract people a little more than this one. So this remains to be seen, but I think the potential here is that the supply in the aftermarket could be low, but the demand might still continue to be high. So it is possible that we will see this price getting up into pretty high numbers, but it is starting from a high point of $400. $200. So it remains to be seen. I would like to get a better price, of course, if I was investing in this set. I'm just curious what's going to happen with the loop coaster. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with this one. Now, the next one I'm excited to see the end of here is the Treehouse. This set was supposed to retire like 3 years ago. It's still been on the shelves. Apparently, it is leaving us at the end of 2024. I'll believe it when I see it, to be honest. But this is apparently the last year that the Ideas Treehouse will be available. Now, I love this set. I think it's a great set. I'm just sick of seeing it available on the shelves. So the reason that this is on the list here is not because I'm going to go buy a ton of these. It's because I just want it gone. I've already invested in this set. I think I made a TikTok about it where I bought like 5 of these and I ended up having to liquidate the inventory. Now, I got my money back, thankfully, so it's all good. But I thought it was retiring like 3 years ago. It was supposed to retire. It got pushed out. And eventually, I just sold the inventory and got my money back. And because of that experience, I'm probably not going to go and invest in this just because I don't want any more of these in my inventory. But that could lead to an opportunity for those of you out there who are going to go and invest in this. I don't think I'm the only one who bought this already thinking it would retire and then ended up selling it. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with this in terms of an investment. There were a lot of people excited about it as an investment a couple of years ago. A lot of that has died down because the set was not retiring. I'm finally excited to see this on the real retirement list for next year to see what the community has to say about it. Are people going to be getting this or not? I'm curious. So $250 set, of course, that was a $200 set and it has gone up significantly, a 25% price jump. Now you can get it for much lower if you keep, some deal alerts on and different things like that. I've seen this available for a whole lot lower than 200 even, and so there are deals out there to be had. I would definitely not be paying $250 for this set. It is set number 21318, 3,036 pieces, and again, I love the set as a fan, but unfortunately for me, I just have a vendetta against the Treehouse set at this point, so I won't be investing in it. Next up, we have Indiana Jones. So there are a handful of Indiana Jones sets that are rumored to be retiring next year. Now, these are reasonably new Lego sets, so will they retire for sure next year? It's hard to know, but I don't think there's another movie being made at the moment, so these were kind of coinciding with the new movie that came out in 2023, and it does seem plausible that these will be disappearing at the end of 2024. The one that I'm looking at here is called Temple of the Golden Idol. It's $150 MSRP, 1,545 parts, 77015 is the set number. Now, the thing that I love about this one is the fact that it was just made to be put on a shelf and displayed. It's even got the little plaque in the middle that you can kind of see here to show you that you're supposed to be putting this on a shelf, but it also has a lot of playability with it because there's a lot of little gadgets and a lot of fun things going on here, and you do get the minifigures. This set perfectly depicts what I think a great Lego Indiana Jones set is supposed to be. It's supposed to have the big boulder, it's supposed to have all the little traps and different things going on in a tomb, and that's what I think of when I think of Indiana Jones. So over the years, the old Indiana Jones sets did end up doing great as investments, and I'm curious what's going to happen with this next wave of sets that are going to retire. Is this going to be the very end of Indiana Jones for the Lego group? Are they ever going to make any more? It's hard to know, but this could indeed be the last wave of Lego Indiana Jones that we will ever see. For that reason, I'm definitely curious about this set. I will be watching it. I will be paying attention to it. I'm hoping that we get some good deals on it, but it is a $150 set right now. So I'm curious about this one for the end of 2024. We also have the Sonic the Hedgehog set. So we've had this new wave of Sonic the Hedgehog sets that have been kind of expanding on the old Ideas Sonic the Hedgehog set, and they've built it into a full theme. But that theme, a lot of these sets are scheduled to retire at the end of 2024, and so I will be curious what's going to happen with this. I always enjoy seeing the first wave of a new theme disappear. We also have that happening with Dreams next year, so I'm also curious what's going to happen with the Lego Dreams set. But we are going to see Dreams, we are going to see Sonic. Some of these sets start to disappear. This one's a Speed Sphere Challenge, the $35 set. You can get a much better price than that, of course. It's set number 76990, 292 pieces. A very simple set, very similar to what you would get in like a Super Mario set. But for me, I grew up playing Sonic a little more than Mario. I love both, but Sonic, to me, I just love that they finally made some Lego sets that are based on Sonic. So I'm curious what's going to happen on these. Now, will I be an investor in them? I will be paying attention. I do like to get great deals on sets that everybody else is ignoring, and I think a lot of Lego investors ignore brand new themes. I did really well on Hidden Side, for example, because I was able to get really good deals on sets that everyone else was ignoring. So it's entirely possible that I could look a little closer at some of the Sonic sets, and this one is one of the most iconic of the few that are scheduled to retire. And I think that this one is one of my favorites out of the handful that will be retiring in 2024. Now, that was 10 Lego sets that I'm excited to see retire at the end of 2024 if that actually ends up happening. I will give you a quick bonus set because I'm also curious about this Batman Technic set. And I didn't mention Technic on this list, so here we go. This is the Batman Bat Cycle, set number 42155, 641 pieces. The thing that I love about this set is the price point. It's a $50 Lego set. You are probably going to be able to get this at much better prices, especially on some of the big deal days throughout 2024. And if I'm able to get a really good price on this set, I'm thinking that it has potential to have a lot of demand in the future. Because when you have a Technic vehicle, but is also based on such a popular series and character such as Batman, in my opinion, it's a strong recipe, and for that reason I really like the Technic Batmobile, for example. But this is a $50 set, so when you're talking about a $50 set, maybe you're going to be able to get it for $35, and I think that there's potential there. Now the design I think is a little bit lackluster, but it is a $50 set, so there's only so much detail they can do with 641 parts. But again, the price point I just think is at that sweet spot where I think it has potential runway to grow in price over time, and the demand that will come from it being a Batman set, a Technic set, I think is a good thing. So this is a bonus round to make this 11 different sets that I'm excited to see retire next year, that I hope do go ahead and retire next year, because there is some potential here, there's some opportunity here. I'm very, very excited about a lot of other sets as well for next year, and I'm going to be making more videos going a little deeper on the retirement list for 2024 over the next couple of months. So if you want to see my thoughts on the overall retirement list over the next couple of months, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're not already in our Facebook group, you definitely want to get into the free Lego investing Facebook group. I will leave the link in the description down below. So once again, thank you for being here. I'm Shane from brickbucks.net, and I will see you in the next one.